Welcome back to the Green Beans Go channel. It's your host, me, here for our Week 5 touchdown picks and preview. Here's the entire sheet if you want to pause and screenshot and comb through that mess. But if not, and you just want to see the matchups, that's what I have for you. But first, we need to talk about something very important. I am about to compromise my morals in 16 years of hard work for content, baby. That's right. I haven't had a carbonated beverage since 2008, and this Sunday that changes. I'm going to be trying 16 pops for the 16 years I didn't drink pop, trying to identify the flavors. See if I can recognize what these pops are after 16 years of not having them. So stay tuned for that video. If you want to see how this is going to be set up, how this even got started, the whole story behind it, make sure you check out that video. I appreciate it very much. Last week, we played less plays, okay? And we only hit 3, unfortunately. We hit Evans, we hit Hurts, and we hit Addison. Our biggest win was Addison, as you can see here. So it is what it is. We're down 1.87 units. This is for entertainment, guys, okay? This is hard. This is hard. This is just flat out hard, okay? Beating the touchdown market. These are one-way lines. You can't necessarily, you can kind of devig them and find EV plays based on Pinnacle. I think Pinnacle and maybe Circa has two-way lines. The point is, we're fighting an uphill battle. This is just for fun. So mind your units. Spend money on this that you can afford to lose. And we're going to try to climb out of this, albeit small hole. Here's what we can expect. Here's what you can expect on my channel. 3 different types of plays: Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, and first touchdown picks. These are the odds ranges that I try to target for each one, and they're done by unit. So 1 unit, half unit, and quarter unit. Try to play some promos, combine these with promos to get even more value. And again, I will track everything. So let's start with Thursday night. That's tonight. We have Tampa Bay and Atlanta. And truly, I don't see a ton here. I think this should be a fairly low-scoring game. I do think Tampa Bay is the strongest team Atlanta has faced offensively. Even though I know they played the Chiefs, I get it, but I still think Tampa Bay has more weapons. The thing that catches my eye is down here. Tampa Bay wide receivers scoring the first touchdown. I realize Atlanta's only allowed 1 first touchdown to the receiver position, but Tampa continues to dominate that. I think Tampa's defense is sneaky good, sneaky underrated. Nobody really talks about Tampa's defense. And I think against an offense as poor as Atlanta's, they're going to struggle to move the ball against Tampa Bay. So I don't have any anytime touchdown plays for this, but if you want to target a Tampa wide receiver first touchdown, I think that's where my head is at for this one. This game is being played in London. The Jets and the Vikings will play at 9 a.m. on Sunday. And again, I see a couple of opportunities here. The first is maybe just Minnesota receivers, 9 touchdowns overall to receivers, which leads the NFL, 4 allowed to the Jets, which is about middle of the pack, but it is clearly their weakness. So again, I would target potentially wide receiver first touchdown for Minnesota. They've scored 3 this year, and the Jets have allowed 2 wide receiver first touchdowns. I like Naylor again at plus 500. I know Addison is back, and because Addison is back, it's sending Naylor's odds up, which you would expect. But I still think he is a threat in this offense, and he still could be a sneaky play at 5-1. Chicago and Carolina. The thing that catches my eye in this one is the fact that Chicago's best position to score touchdowns has been the running back. Only 3, which isn't a ton, but Carolina has allowed a league-high 15 touchdowns overall, 7 of which have gone to the running back, 6 to the wide receiver. So I am going to look at 2 running backs for the Chicago Bears, and we'll play DeAndre Swift for 1 unit and Rashawn Johnson for a half unit. Now, all of my plays are going to be at the end. If you're still watching each of these game by game, I will put all of them at the end. But nonetheless, I do think that there is a path for both running backs to score for the Chicago Bears. So these would be my plays. Rashawn scored last week, and I want to say maybe Swift did too. Either way, doesn't matter what last week what occurred last week. We're on to this week. Baltimore and Cincinnati is a game that could be very low scoring, even though Cincinnati's defense hasn't looked great this year. And Baltimore has looked human at times. A couple things catch my eye. If you want to look at first touchdowns, potentially running back, but I didn't even look. I'm going to assume Derrick Henry's like plus 500 to score the first touchdown, which is too low for me personally. I'm not saying it's a bad play. I just don't love taking anything less than probably 700 for the first touchdown. But I do kind of like this angle. Baltimore's biggest area of weakness defensively is allowing the wide receiver touchdown. So if you look at Cincinnati, this is a team that scores a lot of wide receiver touchdowns. Baltimore is a team that allows a lot of wide receiver touchdowns, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of T. Higgins not scoring. So if this is a chase, no pun intended, okay, it may be a personal chase, okay? I have watched the last 2 weeks this man T. Higgins get target after target after target after target. I should make a compilation of the amount of targets he's gotten in the red zone, balls that have gone to him while he is in the end zone, and he just doesn't catch them. There was one that was pass interference. It got called back, and then they threw it to him over his head, and that was just last week. Then the week before that, he had two. He's so due. The due-ness is unbelievable. He is the dewest person I've ever seen. So T. Higgins plus 185 for a unit. I want this badly. This is not good betting. Let me be clear. I try to preach good betting on this channel. This is not good betting. This is emotional betting. This is chase betting. Now I'm still, I'm not putting 6 units on it, although I want to, right? But 1 unit T. Higgins. Okay, Miami and New England. At first, I said to myself, I'm not touching this game. This is disgusting. Nobody should be playing anything from this game. But then I saw something that caught my eye, and I think there's an opportunity here. Devin Achane is a little bit too juiced to score. I don't like his price. But Jalen Wright, which has been the third running back, Jeff Wilson is technically the second. He got hurt in pregame warm-up last week, and so he didn't play. Jalen Wright looked good, and it looked like they were trying to incorporate him into the offense. And I think at 8-1, there is a chance that this guy could bust a long run for a touchdown or be put in at the goal line. Now, New England's defense is not stellar in terms of running back allowed. Their defense is okay in terms of overall. They've played pretty well as a defensive unit. But if Miami's going to score, I think it's going to be Huntley, the quarterback, or Jalen Wright. So I would play both of these guys at a half a unit. Jalen Wright might be one of my favorite sneaky plays on the whole Sunday slate. Another opportunity here, which really shocked me. New England has scored 3 first touchdowns this year, which doesn't seem like it should be possible given that they've only scored 5 all season. 3 of them have been the first ones. What are they doing? Okay. And Miami has allowed 4. So if you want to get super sneaky, maybe there's some value in New England to score the first touchdown to, I don't even know what position you'd pick, but there's your information. Cleveland and Washington. 2 plays that do not fall within the category of 1 unit that I'm playing for 1 unit. I think Washington continues to roll. I think Washington puts up 30 to 40 points on the Cleveland Browns. And if the Browns are going to stay in this game, they're going to have to score. They're going to have to keep up. Duh. The way they do that, I think they found nothing on the ground. They're finding nothing on the ground. The way they do that, I think, is attacking this secondary that's allowed 10 touchdowns to wide receivers. They have the threats. Amari Cooper and Jerry Jeudy are not scrubs. Deshaun Watson should be able to get something going in this game. So Cooper at 230, Jeudy at 290. We're playing them both, and we're playing them for 1 unit. And if one of them scores, we profit. And if both of them score, we really profit. So that is the angle today. That's the angle I'm talking about today for Sunday, okay? Jacksonville and Indianapolis, I'm skipping because there's just too many injuries on the Indianapolis side. I don't know how well this defense is going to travel, although they say defense does travel. That's a common trope that's repeated throughout football. So, there's a chance that this game is very low scoring, very ugly, very choppy. So I'm going to skip it. Houston and Buffalo is another one that I don't see a lot of opportunity for. If you want to look through this and try to find something, you may be able to, right? Like maybe Houston's running back, which I'm just now seeing. Buffalo's allowing quite a lot. But Buffalo receivers, 6 allowed by Houston, which is bottom of the NFL, 4 scored by Buffalo and 7 years ago. Here's the deal, though. I don't know who's the guy in Buffalo. Coleman, Shakir, Hollins, Valdez-Scantling, Kincaid has scored once. I'm not making the pick officially. You can figure it out, but Buffalo receivers should have some opportunities. Las Vegas and Denver, I'm skipping as well. Denver's defense has somehow looked good, and the Raiders' offense have looked bad. Denver's offense has looked bad, and the Raiders' defense has looked good, so I don't like this game. I'm skipping it. Arizona and San Francisco is also a skip. I know. I'm sorry, guys. 3 skips in a row. But again, I don't see a ton of opportunities here. You're welcome to look through and see if you can find something. Seattle and New York. I'm going to play Seattle receivers. And I'm sorry I didn't put the little arrow on here. It would be right here. Now, I get it. They are dominating by running back. Charbonnet and Walker have scored a lot of touchdowns. And DK Metcalf has 2. Both of these guys that I'm picking have not scored this year. But if there is an opportunity, it's against this soft Giants secondary. So that would be my official play for that. All those skips I've made up for. I made up for right here. Okay? Yeah. I'm playing 3 Packers. The Packers have scored 7 touchdowns with their receivers, and the Rams have allowed 7, which is some of the worst in the NFL. I realize Tucker Kraft is not a receiver. He is a tight end, but he scored last week, and he is getting targets. So here's the deal. Christian Watson is out for this game. So I looked at target share after he went down last week, and you see Dobbs and Wicks kind of dominating target share, which is funny because Jaden Reed has the best odds to score at like plus 105. So I'm skipping Reed at that lower number of plus 105. I think he's a fine play to score. I just didn't like the number. I like the value in these other guys more. So Wicks, Dobbs, and Kraft, all half-unit plays. I like a lot of opportunities in this one. Dome game, inside game, should be up and down. So let's lock those in. Dallas and Pittsburgh is an overall skip, but maybe you can target Dallas's rush defense, which has been beaten quite a bit this year. The only problem is Pittsburgh has not scored with a running back all season. Justin Fields is scoring a lot, so maybe you like him instead. As you can see, Dallas isn't great against defending the quarterback. So Najee Harris, I don't know if Jaylen Warren is playing. He is still injured, or Justin Fields could all be plays. Haven't looked at their numbers, so can't endorse anything officially, but it's an option. And finally, our Monday night game is a skip. I just think defense will reign supreme in this one. Fun fact, though, Kansas City has not scored a first touchdown all season, even though their first drives are averaging, ending 21 yards away from the end zone, which is one of the league's best. So they're moving the ball well. They just are deferring, I guess. They're not getting the ball first, and their defense isn't stopping anybody, or their offense is getting stalled in the red zone. So pretty interesting. Not saying there's a play there necessarily, but again, here's the data if you want it. So let's look back through real quick. Our tier 1 unit plays, DeAndre Swift, T. Higgins, Jerry Jeudy, and Amari Cooper. Our half unit plays, Naylor for the Vikings, Rashawn Johnson for the Bears, Jalen Wright and Tyler Huntley for Miami, Lockett and Jackson Smith and Jigba for the Seahawks, Romeo Dobbs, Wicks, and Tucker Kraft for the Green Bay Packers. No tier 3 quarter unit plays, although, like if you want to be smart and put Jalen Wright as a quarter unit play, since his odds are so much, I totally understand that, but I just think there's value there. And so when there is value, I don't mind shelling out a little more. First touchdowns, I don't have any official names, but I will tell you I like Minnesota receivers, I like Green Bay receivers and tight ends, and I like Baltimore running backs and quarterbacks. So you can choose the guys there. Again, I didn't look through any of the odds, so take that as you will. So thank you guys for coming by. Make sure I don't have anything else. It's just a white slide. This is what you see right before you pass away. Just kidding. Do you actually see your life flash before your eyes? Like I've heard, is that a real thing that anybody can confirm? When you die, do you replay your whole entire life before death? I don't know. Sorry to be morbid. Enjoy the game tonight. The NFC South matchup. Go watch my pop video, please. And tune in Sunday when we do that. Tomorrow I'll have our underdog picks. I've already released my week 5 spreads and totals picks if you want to check out that video too. There's a lot of stuff you can check out, so check it out. And we'll see you tomorrow.